everybody, it's Melanie.
Hi, it's Susan.
And we are coming at you with part 3 because we didn't intend for the board session to last as long as it did, but it did. So we are back at it with the interpretations as best as we can figure. And if you guys have any ideas, leave comments down below. Or if you've had any experiences like this, tell us your story. Or if you'd like me to tell your story, write me an email. It's all in the description box or at the end of the video. So, yeah, let's get started. The first question that we asked were, are there any spirits here who want to talk to us? And we got the letter K. So we're thinking that's the first letter in the name of the ghost, maybe, but possibly not, because Susan might have an idea of who her ghost is. We're not sure if there was multiple ghosts or not. There could be, so this could be like a different ghost, but Susan has an idea for her ghost, and we're not going to name any names because it is a long, sad story. So we're going to keep things private. Do you want to do number 2?
Number 2 was, does your name start with the letter K? And it said yes, which is pretty self-explanatory.
So again, we might have been dealing with more than one spirit. We did get the name Bridget when we were doing the ghost box, which of course isn't K, but we don't know Bridget's last name. So we're still trying to figure out what the name was, so we can ask it to spell its name, and it just went to K and then stopped. So maybe they just go by K. We also asked that. Nothing happened.
It's
so
a little open-ended.
Yeah. But this next question makes me think that this is your ghostie.
The next question was, is your name KK? Or is that the initials? And it said Laurel, which is the name of my apartment complex. So the interpretation we got from that was that it followed me from my apartments.
If you didn't watch our first spirit board video, that is when we discovered that Susan does have a spirit attached to her from her apartment complex. So I'll link that video in the description box below and you can watch it too. We asked, are you buried in this cemetery? And we got the answer, enlightenment. Again, we're kind of interpreting this as going back towards her ghost, her apartment situation, because there's been a very negative energy there. And enlightenment kind of means to dissolve or separate things from spirituality. So maybe trying to interfere with Susan's beliefs or something just to create a very bad situation. But we don't think that, to be clear, we don't think her ghost is doing that. There's a different energy at her apartment that is doing that.
That was a very bad energy that popped up. I don't know where it came from. It just showed up one night and it actually tried to get into the building. Next question was, are you male or female? And it went back to enlightenment again. So that was, again, dissolving things that separate you from your spirituality. So that was a little bit odd. I'm honestly kind of wondering, because we were in a cemetery, if it was like multiple spirits were trying to grab a metaphorical microphone.
It definitely could be.
Yeah.
Your ghost comes through pretty strongly though at times.
Yeah.
We then asked, is there more than one spirit here who wants to talk to us? We got the answer, near. So I think that kind of backs up the theory of multiple spirits, like trying, you're like, oh, it's my turn, I want to answer. No, you answered the last one. We're kind of fighting, as she said, over the microphone.
Yes.
And then we asked,
are you from the cemetery that's across the road? And again, we got the answer, near. So that could be somewhere that was close by. So it could be either the cemetery or it could be from my apartment, which is about a mile or so away from the cemetery.
This cemetery is a little strange because it's one cemetery, but the highway goes through the middle of it.
Yeah.
So it looks like a cemetery on both sides of the road, but they're both the same cemetery. We continued with the line of questioning, are you from someplace other than the cemetery across the road? Again, we got the Laurel.
Yeah.
Laurel is the name of Susan's apartment complex. So again, I think this is your ghostie coming through pretty loud and clear.
Yeah.
Because we then asked,
Now, are you my ghost that's following me around? And it said yes.
self-explanatory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we then asked it about the last time that we spoke to it, and it had said in that previous video that it needed Susan's help, and we asked if it was still true, and we got the answer creativity, which we took to mean that it needed Susan to be inspired to do something to help.
Yeah. And then we asked, do you need me to create something for you? And it landed on 2 answers for that one. It landed on Pisces and the letter Y. Which the interpretation we got from that was that a friend, that it's a friend that needs me to do that. Pisces was not a friend of mine's. It was not his birth sign, but he very much had traits of it, not all of which were good. And he was a very troubled individual. He was not bad, but just, again, he had some stuff going on in his life that was just not good.
We asked, are you the same spirit that we spoke to before? Again, creativity. So it was like, it was being really insistent upon, it needed Susan to make something, and it needed her to be inspired to make whatever it is. So we asked the next question.
Yeah. Are you connected to the energy that was around the apartment a week or so ago, which a week or so being when we first filmed that part of the video? And the answer I gave was chestnut, which the interpretation, chestnut is associated with justice, so the negative and evil energy that was around the apartment, the interpretation we got from that was that it's bringing it to justice.
So we hope, because we do not like negative energy.
No, and this was not good negative energy.
If you are not of light and love, you can get out.
Yes.
We then asked, are you trying to protect Susan from the evil that's in her apartment? And it was a flat out yes, self-explanatory. So whoever Susan's ghost is, we think he/she, go by what you like, is a protector, is someone there to help Susan.
We asked if it needed me to do something to protect against that evil, and it popped up with creativity again. So the interpretation we got was that, yes, and be creative doing so.
So
yeah,
we haven't come up with something yet, but we're working on it. If you guys want updates on that, let us know below. Do you need Susan to make something? And again, yes, flat out yes. So again, self-explanatory. So we then asked,
can you spell out what I need to make?
Nothing.
Blank. It just went completely blank.
It went to like a space on the board where there were no letters, no pictures. I mean, it's just like, I think it was a blue area on the board that had nothing on it.
Yeah.
So we asked, what does Susan need to make? And it went to banishing.
Yeah.
And the interpretation we got from that is answered in the next question,
which was, does it need me to make a banishing spell? We got a flat yes.
So that is what we need to work on and be creative about. We asked if the ghost needed me to help Susan make a banishing spell, and just nothing happened. It didn't even go to a blank space on the board, like no movement.
And I asked, can Melanie help make a vanishing spell? Or a banishing spell? Nothing. No movement.
Oh, yeah, because I misspelled that.
I was like, what?
I spelled it V-I. Sometimes my fingers get ahead of my brain while I'm typing. So it's a vanishing spell, apparently.
Like, what is that? Is that a fancier version of vanishing?
Oh, that's just Melanie's brain and how it works. That's what that is. So I need to give Susan my creativity for the spell, and it was a flat out yes.
Yeah.
So she's not in this alone. She's got me to help her out. She's got
Yes.
her little ghostie protecting her. We are saying the word ghostie very affectionately and not in a mean way. We're not taunting any of the ghosts out there, just so you guys know.
We asked how many days do we have to make the spell, and it went to the number 9. So our interpretation is that it either has to be made in 9 days, and it's been more than 9 days since then, so it could be that it takes 9 days to make.
Especially since I think nothing bad has happened in the 9 days since we made that video in the graveyard.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, things have actually gotten much better at the apartment. There's been a lot more positivity.
It could be that it knows that you're on the case and perhaps has settled down because it knows that it's going to be banished.
And it knows it's going to end up in a world of hurt.
Chestnut, right? Justice.
Yeah.
Oh. Speaking of chestnut.
Yes, if we do not make the spell in 9 days, will something bad happen? Chestnut. Now, so the interpretation is that justice will either will or won't be served.
And since we haven't gotten the chance to come up with something yet, and it's been more than 9 days, I'm going to say that justice is going to be served.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have to take 9 days to make the spell. We then asked, does chestnut mean anything in particular for what's going to happen? Yes.
Yeah.
Justice for the evil spirit. So we think that this evil spirit is, if it hasn't already gotten scared and left because it knows something is coming, then it's going to get banished.
We asked what element should we include in the spell, and it just said near. So the interpretation is what we need can be found close by. I'm really hoping that doesn't mean graveyard dirt, because that would be
Creeps us out.
Creeps us out. It would be horribly disrespectful to go digging up the graveyard.
We will not be digging up any graveyard dirt.
No.
That's not going to happen.
No.
So, I mean, there were lots of, flora and fauna also.
Well, yeah, and that's not disrespectful, but no, if anything's requiring grave dirt, just no, just no.
I mean, at that point, if it was talking about grave dirt, I would say that is a different spirit coming through and trying to play a trick on you, because that's not nice.
No, it's not. Which, again, the whole, fighting over the microphone thing.
We asked, are the elements near here? And it said, we got 2 answers. It said near and white. So we are assuming that the elements that we need are close by in the vicinity of where we made the filming, or perhaps even in the vicinity of your apartment. And in the meantime, white is kind of a symbol of purity, but it's also a symbol of protectiveness. So this is when we come back to the ghost that's following Susan around being more of a protector and keeping her safe until the evil is gone.
Yeah. And even then would still be protective, because that's honestly the way that he was.
So we think we're getting down to the bottom of it. I'm sorry we can't give you any names, but please be respectful of the situation and don't ask for the name, because we're not going to give it to you. Just know that it was a dear friend to Susan, and we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
So, again, if you have any ideas, leave those in the comments down below if you have a different interpretation, or if you have a situation, do you have a ghost following you around? Again, you can write me an email. I can tell your story for you if you don't want to. If you wish to remain anonymous, just let me know in the email. All of my social media will be at the end. My email's in the description box. Don't forget to check out Susan's Instagram.
Changeling Photography, all one word, and that's just on Instagram. And where I've got some Now, a few unusual pictures that I did end up debunking myself at the Biltmore estate, and then some pictures that I can't fully explain from a previous ghost hunting last October.
Do you hear that, people? She debunked her own pictures. That's honesty for you right there. She's not trying to claim any, like, at first they were unusual and unexplainable, but she debunked them herself. So
Yes.
when she says that something is unexplainable and she can't debunk it, she means it. So she's not lying to you.
Yes.
Honesty, people, honesty.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all that we have for this video. And like I said, again, if you want an update on what happens with the banishing spell and the evil around Susan's apartment, I think we at the very least should just go ahead and do it anyway, even if things are quiet.
Yeah. Make it
You
a
know
little
what?
safer.
The
Yeah.
evil might just be laying low. It might just be trying to fool you.
That might be. That's
Okay, update to come. Let's
Yes.
just say
Update to come.
Update to come. We will let you know everything. So, that's it for now.
all right.
Bye.